Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be building an apocalyptic airport. Now, there's no way in hell I'm fitting an entire airport in here, so I'm doing an airport terminal. And I've got a couple references. First one right here. Whoa. So you can see, really long kind of tunnel, right? And on this tunnel, there's these like sections where planes would park, and they have tunnels which people would go through to get into the plane. Now, I'm going to be doing one of those sections, all right? So, like, this is kind of the template I made for a plane. Very rough, but it gives me a general idea as to how big I can make this thing, because this over here is the glass tunnel, like the actual terminal, which has two sizes. This is 10 wide, or 12 wide, I believe. I don't know how wide I'm going to make this thing yet. I'll start off with the 12 wide, make a plane kind of like in the 12 wide sizing, and if that looks kind of wonky, I'll move down to like 8 or 10, and we'll see where we should go on from there. The plane, I'm kind of thinking there's two. I have to do one that's smaller, so knowing that info, I was thinking either this, these are more private jet like, but you know, like something like this, or this, which is a little larger and may not fit, but we're gonna try it. Let's start off with horizontal cylinders. That'll give us a rough idea as to how long and wide we should make this thing. This is purely a template, by the way. This is not even gonna be attached to the plane. I just want a rough idea as to how long I should be making this thing to the width of it. So like that already is really skinny for the length. So what I'm thinking is maybe we make it, this is 15 in diameter, 15 in basic shape measurements, and this is 15 long. Wait, is this 15? Yeah, 15 by 15. I say we do like 20 by 20. Nah, maybe we do 17. Okay, let's try this. I'm really trying to like do this properly. It's a little scary. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a huge fan of how kind of choppy this thing looks. I almost wonder if I should have made it so this is half the size. Because this is 3, we could probably do 1.5. I do worry about plot data though. Because how much is this taking up right now? 7%? Double that, 14. I mean, maybe. Planks might be actually the way to go, because what I could do, make it 1.5, which is which is exactly what I'm looking for, and all I gotta do is rotate it once like that, and then I can just follow the circumference of the fuselage like this. The thing is though, I'm not sure what that's gonna be like for plot data. It's the only thing I worry about. Not only that, I do not know how I'm gonna do the windows. But hey, we'll worry about that later. I think the windows on this might be too big anyway, so let's actually just kind of make a new fuselage. Let's just make a new fuselage kind of template. That was our prototype. This is the prototype, our practice, which I like. But you see how lined this is? If we were to flip this over, Look how much smoother this one is compared to this one. It's almost like putting a 480p video beside a 1080p video. It's like doubled, or almost doubled. But like, you guys know those resource packs in Minecraft that are like, it's like if you were to use the 16 by 16 like default Minecraft texture pack and then switch to 16 by 16 or maybe 24 by 24. It's like it's almost a little more defined. I don't know if that's the best word. I do worry about how much plot data is going to take up because I'm technically doubling the size of this thing, not physically, but like data-wise. Because this over here, without the windows, has 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 14. This one's going to have 24. Or no, 28, actually. It's going to have 28, which is a little frightening. I'm not going to lie. That is so much better. Holy shit. Look at the difference. Oh my god, bro. I do wonder if my windows should be here, though. There you go. That is so much better. Here's a before and after. Bruh. I am so glad I went with planks. Holy. So we're gonna try and get like a length here. Maybe a bit of an idea. This could be the final. I want to make this thing look good. And a big... That might be too long. That's too long. The question is, how long do I make it? Because I'll have the tail... This actually might be a really good length right here, because I haven't even gotten the whatchamacallit. How am I gonna do the front? Got a little nose on it. Damn, I gotta increase these a lot. Like one more for each. Wait, how much is it? Which ones is it on? From the second... 1, 2, and 3. 4's fine. Like this one's good. This could be increased by probably... Let's do 2 to be safe. Let's do 2 for all of them. See, that's good, but it's got a flippin' nose again. 4.7. Then this has to be increased. And this should be good. I don't even know if this is going to be the right shape. This could very well be wrong. And I'm trying super hard on something that isn't going to be right. But I'm very keen on this being in the right direction. I'm debating on making it a little bit longer. Let's minus the angle a tiny bit more. And I think that will have the right look. I think that's perfect. Holy shit, wait. It's got a little hole in the front, but I can change that. That time lapse is probably like 5, maybe 10 minutes long, alright? I need to explain why. I was so locked in on building that plane, bro. I can't even describe. See, the thing about building a plane in Bloxburg, there's no, like, known strategy, so I kind of had to, like, fully wing it. Before doing this, I watched, like, 1, maybe 2 or 3 tutorials on how people build planes. Not even, like, tutorials, just speed builds. I just watched how they did it. I noticed a lot of perfect circle hacks, but I also noticed a lot of other stuff. So I just mixed pretty much all of their like strategies, and now we're here. All right, we got wings, fins, and stuff on the ends. There's a lot I still need. I still need engines. I still need landing gears and all that. But we pretty much have our plane. She's a little choppy. That's definitely something you guys are gonna notice and be like, "Oh my god, this plane has a lot of rough edges." I cannot help it. I've never built a commercial plane before. This is literally my first time. I'm winging this quite heavily. Any plane builders or any plane geeks in the comments, feedback would be amazing. You can call this shit, just please tell me why it's shit. I feel like the rough parts is definitely a big contribute to the dookiness, but at the same time, I'm extremely happy with how this looks. Good or not, this is the best plane I've ever made, and I've never built a plane before. I really don't know what livery to put in this thing, because I also don't know if I want to make this Roblox themed like the other kind of zombie builds, because we had Eric Castle Plaza, which we just called Castle Plaza. We also had Bazooki Health Center. Is that what it was? I can't remember. I probably should remember, because that was literally like only a couple weeks ago at the time of me recording this. Not a couple, like 4. What else did we do? We had... I don't think we had anything else. What was the school called? Just Bloxburg High School, wasn't it? It's a little chunky, but definitely adds something to the flat wings. I'm gonna get my engines. I think that might be a good size. I'm gonna slide it out to like here. Yeah, that's a good size. Okay, now I need to recreate this with the perfect circle hack. How much plot data am I working with right now? Okay, that's not awful. The apocalyptic builds take up a ton of plot data because of zombies and stuff, so I'm really trying to be cautious here. In the front, do I have just a decal? I'm gonna look. Yeah, I do. I don't need to waste a ton of plot data making an ultra realistic fan. Then after this, I'll get our landing gear, and I'm pretty sure that's it. I mean, I needed livery, but I don't know how I'm gonna brand this plane yet. Honestly, like, I'm kind of thinking a teal blue. Like the Bloxburg, just classic logo almost. But at the same time, I wonder if I should do an actual airline, like Delta or some shit. Okay, landing gear. The wheels on the very front are little, And then the ones at the back are like double the size. So I'm just gonna kind of roughly use that knowledge and kind of craft a wheel. Okay, this will be our small wheel. Now I'm gonna make one for our big wheel. Okay, there's one. These engines are very close to the ground. I could raise the wings, but that means I'm gonna have to disassemble these now. Still a little close to the ground, but it's better than before. This is definitely not a perfect A22-0 or whatever the hell it's called. I'm not a plane guy. I know little to nothing about aircrafts. I was planning on possibly getting my pilot's license at some point, though. That was just a thought, though. I'm not planning on it. Well, even though I just said I'm planning on it, I'm not sure if I'm actually going to do that. I'm looking at an image of the plane. Where the hell are these coming out of? It looks like they just come out the wing, but that doesn't make sense. I don't get it, because when I look at an image of it, the gears are coming out of the wings. Like, they just go straight up, and they're, like, way out here. So it makes me wonder, do they fold in like this? Because, like, the landing gear is, like... in the image I'm looking at, it's like there. Maybe it does. You know, let's just go. I'm gonna go by the image that I'm looking at, which is probably inaccurate, but hey, I ain't no plane builder, so please don't be mad at me. This works. I'm gonna get a little extra piece for added detail, like an open hatch. I'm cool with this. For the butt, I'm actually gonna... I think I might be making people mad, actually. I'm just calling this shit the butt. This has probably got, like, a really scientific name. I know this is, like, the exhaust or some shit. The butthole. This is, like, an exhaust. I don't know what for. I don't know if it's, like, engine fumes or what, but it's on the butt. It's a hole. It's the plane's butthole, bro. I didn't make my plane parked perfect. I kind of like how it's like that, though. Oh, do I get it, like, still attached to the thing? Or should I have it, like, detached, as if, like, they were just about to fly out and they got absolutely murked? Like, some planes got into the sky before someone, like, in the plane started biting people. But this plane was so unlucky, they couldn't even leave the airport. Like, they moved a couple feet, bro, away from the jet bridge. I feel so professional calling it the proper name. The jet bridge. Ooh. The butthole. Yeah, I like this. So I think I'm going to take a break. I'm glad we got our plane done. That was probably the hardest part. Next, I want to make... Should I do the terminal next? Or should I make like a custom airport-like vehicle? Like, what would they use to push this out? Well, I do know. I'm looking at it right now. Should I make one of these thingy-majiggies? I'll think about it. It depends on plot data. I should probably do my terminal and zombies first. We're at 26%. That's not bad. But, like, we could probably have, like, some military stuff, too, because in a lot of zombie movies, if you're at, like, a airport or something, there's military. Why would there not be military at the airport? Because you're trying to leave. Ooh, why is that looking like that? I just realized. I'm very happy with where we're at. I'm still thinking about zombies. I'm still thinking about the story. I was thinking about it heavily while I was building this plane. I'm kind of thinking like... I originally got inspiration from Those Who Remain. My very first mall build, or my very first zombie build was a mall, and I used Those Who Remain for inspiration. I took like their Humvees and stuff, and elements from Those Who Remain, and thrown it into Bloxburg, and made almost like my custom map. My own custom map, which was the mall. And I'm honestly thinking of having more elements from Those Who Remain, because in Those Who Remain, I'll show some gameplay of it on screen. It's an old zombie game on Roblox that really doesn't get much love anymore, but where's the airport? Did they remove it? I think they removed it. This game is in a state of disarray right now, but look at some of these maps, right? You got a ranch, laboratory. I will make a laboratory eventually, but when I do, this is going to be heavily inspired by what I'm doing. When I do a laboratory, you already know I'm taking tons of shit from this map. This game is not as detailed as I remember, but if we look, right, Humvees, right there. That's exactly where I got the Humvees from on the mall build. Chain link fence, definitely. Stuff like this, but inside the terminal, I'll probably get some signs saying, like, medical screening ahead. Yeah, some stuff like this. Chain link fence with some big metal sheeting. Something exactly like this. But would they have a sign like this inside? I had this exact trailer sign kind of thing on the mall build, but it was outside. I'm kind of wondering, would they have that inside? I'll probably get some barriers. I don't know if they're going to be concrete. Chain link fence is a must. Maybe barracks. Maybe a Humvee. A lot of custom vehicles I want to get in here, but the thing is, I don't know if I have the plot data for all of them. Definitely want a quarantine sign or like a medical screening sign. Look, the numbers are growing, bro. Look at this shit. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize, because I've been going stupid with the grinding of this build. I literally just hopped on and like just like that into flow state. I snapped my fingers and then I'm in there. Pause. Now we have a basic exterior to our terminal, our jet bridge, and some little items down here. So I'm gonna kind of run you through this. Yeah, you can see we have our plane. I raised the wings up a little bit. Is there anything else that I did? Colored this thing blue in some spots, just so it's not a boring white plane. I may get a logo and put it on the wing. We've got big light poles. We've got tons of markings, but I'm pretty sure I did that while talking to you guys. We got some concrete barriers. I got paper lying around like any other apocalyptic build, because that just makes it look deserted. I figured these golf carts kind of looked like airport vehicles. Maybe they don't. I kind of think they look like they'd carry luggage or something. I really like how they look. I'm going to keep them even if they're not accurate. I got some cones. Our jet bridge, which I may put a little interior on. Maybe I could have a zombie like just dead in here. Be kind of a cool shot with the plane in the background. You can see we have the other part right here. It's on a wheel. It's got some wiring, some electrical stuff. I did put a little bit of military stuff. I would like to put more though. Like you can see we have some military crates, a bunch of supplies, some cots. You got a military supply pallet right here. I'm kind of thinking about having a Humvee. But then again, I also kind of want a... What the hell are these things called? I was actually about to build one, like, right now. A pushback. One of these. I don't know which one I want to do, though. I'm going to make the wheels of this thing pretty damn big. I've also got to do my cracks and stuff. You know, let's do our cracks first. I'm going to have minimal decal plants, because we are on solid ground right now. Concrete. You're going to get no grass growing through that shit unless there's some cracks. So I'm going to get some cracks. I'll get very, very little decal plants, which will help with plot data and make this place very cheap. Not very cheap. This build is already like 2 million. But you know what I mean. It'll be cheaper because decal plants are the money hogs. I hate how you can kind of see the cube, like they're shaping. Although if I kind of scramble them together, maybe it won't be a big deal. You won't really notice it that much. But I'll get like a couple here. Not too many. Because again, if you're new to the apocalyptic series that I do, I don't even know if I've said this before. I imagine the builds that we do in this apocalyptic series, they are connected. They're all in the same world, I guess you could say. I imagine them being like, I'd say within like a month to 6 months after the like initial chaos of the outbreak. Like, it's long enough that like stuff is kind of, you know, had noticeable change. Like we got some crack patches. We do have some overgrowth on the builds that have grass. I mean, if you look at the hospital, the little boulevards are overgrown. It's still early enough that like stuff is still the way it is, you know? Like there's still a plane here, there's still vehicles and stuff, there's still survivors. But like it's late enough that, yo, like this ain't right. Like if you're looking at this like blindly, not knowing it's a zombie apocalypse, you would know shit's not, you know, good or right. Like stuff's gone down. So I'm gonna transform these into the ground. What do we do after this? I don't even remember what I had on my list. I do want to make a pushback tug. I do want to make a Humvee. Decal plants. That's what it was, I believe. I was thinking about getting barracks, like military barracks, like tents they'd sleep in, but I'm still not sure about that. Airport vehicle, let's try that. This will be a simple thing. Very geometric vehicle. The wheel should be like just the height of my avatar, if not a little bit shorter. Also, smooth rock is a good tire texture. Crap, should I have done these differently? Oh, that really does look better, doesn't it? Crap.
Yeah, that looks way better. That looks like, I don't know, the what did I have before? Like black on sand? Black sand, it looked way too vibrant for this environment. Like, look how much better those look. And like, they're kind of in the ground, which was a mistake, but now that makes them look a little flatter. I think that works perfect. Let's continue what we had going on over here. I noticed a lot of them have this thing going down the middle. I don't know what it is, but it's like a little ramp, so I'm going to try and get that on here. But it's a little difficult because I am building this thing very low poly right now. I'm still wondering if I should have a Humvee or not. Because if there isn't any, if there's no Humvees, it almost look like they went out somewhere to like maybe help out or I don't know. Dude, this thing looks so ass, but now that I just thrown a shit ton of structurals on this thing, it looks way better than it did, like, only a couple minutes ago. I need vents, and I'll probably just throw a bunch of other random stuff on this thing to really add to it. I think I might make it a little longer, or maybe not. So if I take a wedge... Dude, that's cool. I'm perfectly fine with that. It needs some decals, for sure. But then after that, I think we're fine. Just gonna add a little more up on here. Still needs windows, but hey. Other than that, I think we're good. Need some more structurals, and then after that, I honestly think we can call this thing finished. I'll get a couple decals, and hey, that's our whatchamacallit. What are these called? Push tugs? I got experts screaming at me in the comments right now. I don't know what half of the things I build are. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I build shit without knowing what it is until like later on. This needs a door seam, but that's gotta be a tiny cube, or a tiny beam rather. This will be a nice bit of detail, this tug. I'm not sure how I'm going to make it pushing the aircraft or not. Because what I was originally thinking about is, or originally thinking of, was they were like in the middle of pushing this thing out for it to take off for like evacuation. Because I imagine people came here to evacuate and they were doing evacuation, but you had to be screened by medical. But maybe somehow a little Zombo guy got on the plane through screening and it wasn't able to get out. Either that or the person in the push tug got eaten while pushing this thing out. And then the people were just stranded. Real dark kind of ideas, but like, it's definitely something to think about in a build like this. No? Yeah, look at that. I really like that. I'm gonna get some custom stuff, decal-wise. I already have headlight decals and stuff. I might get a caution kind of thingamajiggy. Let me go to the creator marketplace real quick. I also gotta get wing mirrors and the mount on the front. So I got a couple things. So you got like a caution thing. Is there like a worn version though? That's like, oh yeah, perfect. I found one. We'll get that on the front, and then on my decal account, BLCK decals, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, all caps. I'll show you in a second. This right here, this is my decal account. If you just go here, inventory, decals. I just doxed a bunch of stuff for the next Cyberpunk build, but if we go to the right, where are my headlights? Headlights. And then for mirrors, a little hack I did like over a year ago. Take the Pretty Princess mirror, right? Hear me out. And literally just use that. Because that alone looks like those kind of basic ass mirrors that most commercial vehicles have. I think this looks pretty fire. So what I'll do is what they do to attach these is kind of simple, I believe. All they have is literally like a bar, a yellow bar that just comes out. And for the head, a lot of people don't like it. I think it looks a lot more interesting than a cylinder, but the plastic skull, to me, looks like a zombie head. I don't know why. It has no bottom jaw, which someone pointed out as well, but I don't know. I see this, right? I see a mannequin. When I look at this, I see a mannequin or a statue. Look at these beside each other, right? Because these are like the two kind of possible zombies. This looks way more zombie to me. Maybe it's less Roblox, maybe it's less anatomically correct because I don't have a bottom jaw or neck, but it just looks more zombie-like to me than this. Like if this was a zombie, this just looks like Zombie Rush, or like those really basic kind of zombie games. And that doesn't really work for me because those zombie games, those really simple zombie games, were kind of my childhood and kind of a big part of Roblox as a whole, but it just doesn't look zombie to me. I don't know why. I can't describe it. So we're gonna add some eyes, and then we'll get a bunch of hairstyles done. I realize they all have brown hair, I know, but I'm not gonna change the colors of them, like in terms of hair, skin, or even clothing yet. I usually just do this, get a bunch with the different hairstyles, templates you could say, and then when I copy and paste them into different poses and stuff around the map, that's when I change the colors of them. Like, there's no point in doing it now if I'm just gonna do it again later, you know what I mean? Oh, there's all white hair. Let's try that. Because I can just color that to any color I like. If a decal is white, that's the best decal you can find. Because you can literally make it any color you want using Bloxburg's color tool. If the decal already has color in it, that's a bit of an issue. Because you're stuck with that color. You can't even really alternate that. There. 4 different hairstyles. Well, 6 actually. Then you got 6 female ones as well. Perfect. Now it's about scattering them about. Should probably have a flight attendant zombie. What does a flight attendant look like? Red? I thought they were blue. They're really red? I thought they were blue. The plane's blue. I'm giving them blue outfits. Goes to about there. Black shoes. Make them like smooth rock, because that's kind of a leather looking texture. Skin will also be smooth rock. We'll start off basic with hurricane gray. That's usually how our first zombie is colored. We always do our first zombie as like a hurricane gray. I kind of wonder, does making one sleeve there, one sleeve off, make it look like she's ripped her clothing? Like, how can I make these zombies look more ratty? Some are probably dead in the plane. This sounds really weird when I say that. But there's probably a dead flight attendant or two in the plane. I should probably only have one out here. Maybe two. I think I'll just do one. Captain, probably dead in the plane. I'm not gonna have a captain zombie out here. What does airport staff look like? High vis. Okay. I'll probably put this guy near the tug, or like some sort of airport vehicle. I'm also realizing these should probably have backs. Yeah, and this dude can just be dead up against the tug. I haven't gotten any blood down yet. Hold on. I didn't do it for the flight attendant or this dude yet. I wonder if I should have one that got run over by one of the tugs. Or is that too gruesome? That might be a bit much. Although I literally did that in the hospital. I had one of them get run over. Or I had one of them like underneath a car with like GTA track marks. Like when you run over the pedestrians. This dude was like running. Maybe he died up against the tug, or maybe he got bit and then crawled up against the tug. I don't think the person that was operating this would have left. I feel like the zombie would have broken in and killed them inside it, but it has no interior. So to indicate that something did get in there, I'm gonna actually get a cracked glass decal or two, and I'll get blood on that tug as well. Does that even look that damaged? That looks very little. Hold on. Yeah, now we just need like a blood kind of stain grabbing the door maybe. What's a good grab one? Maybe this one. What if it'd be a cool detail to make this one missing a shoe? I wonder if I should do that for more. I think this is enough zombies outside. This is a lot. And I didn't even want to have many out here in the first place. We've got some staff, flight attendants, and some civilians that would have jumped out of the jet bridge or maybe out of the plane. We've got our plane, we've got some custom airport vehicles, some Bloxburg vehicles that look like airport vehicles, zombies, overgrowth, cracks, jet bridge, supplies, some lore. I think we can move on to the interior. That might be the last thing we have left. Which I kind of got a little bit of stuff in. We got some pillars. I'm going to go for a very similar design to the... What was it called? The health center or the hospital. I don't know why that had me so stumped. But yeah, this feels very empty to me because it's literally just a giant concrete pad. But at the same time, I feel like it's more real like that. Because again, if this is a taxiway, they're not going to have shit lying around. I think this is cool the way it is. I'm very happy with how this turned out. I was second guessing it as I was building it, but now that I look at it, I think this is a really sick detail. I'm going to darken the headlights though. And I might actually add brake lights. I would say at this state that I'm at right now, I would say the exterior's finished. But at the same time, I still haven't, like, had a day, you know, away from it. Because a big thing with building is, like, taking a day away from the build to make sure. Because, like, if you come back after a good night's rest or some shit, with new eyes, you'll see stuff that might be missing or stuff that's wrong. Like, looking at this right now, I think this is good. But at the same time, I could come back on here tomorrow and think, oh, maybe there should be something here. Now that I say that, let's put some cracks there. Because that does look a little bit empty to me. I had the idea of putting a bit of smoke on our engine and coloring the engine maybe black in some parts to almost make it look like maybe a zombie flew into the jet engine and got sucked in and caused a fire. I feel like that could be really fire. No pun intended. What would be a good and easy way to make this thing look burnt? Because I can't really have a gradient. Unless I just did the whole thing. I feel like smooth rock would be good. Or dirt. Make it like a dark kind of color. See, it doesn't look burnt because it has blue in it. When shit burns, it gets stained by the smoke. It has like a brownish kind of hue. That does not look like it was on fire to me. I almost feel like it shouldn't even be blue anymore. Okay, that's way better. I just need a way to transition these two colors a bit better. Green kind of works. Oh, fuck, I just lost it. Having a green kind of works, because green is kind of a burnt blue. I also have decals. These could work good. I just gotta color them black. And then make them really big. And then I'll just have to kind of spam them. The same way I do like cracks. And the darker, more richer decals will be closer to the engine. And then these lighter ones will be a little further. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to craft sort of a gradient with these decals, right? I might have to separate them, but that's fine. Because I'll have a variant for lighter, kind of less burned. And then I'll have another variant for more crisp, you know, like right in the flames type shit. can't tell if that looks good or not. I'll have to do the same underneath. I almost wonder if I should take away some of these super dark ones. Because underneath it'll be worse. Like, it's at a point where I wonder if I should take some away and put them underneath instead. Like, maybe even just that. I'm liking the look of this. I just don't know if it actually looks like it was on fire or not. This especially, because it's still blue. Does that look... Oh, I don't know. This doesn't even look very good to me. It's too blocky. I mean, that helps, what I just did, actually, but... I don't know, it still feels weird. I'm gonna add a bit of, like, char to the ground. Maybe some pieces fell off. Whether that's paint or maybe some melted metal. You know, just get that kind of like down there. I think that looks good. It's hard. I can't gauge it. It's like, it feels off to me, but I also really like it. Very tough spot I'm in right now. I think we'll roll with that for now, because I am broke now. That is like 150k worth of decals, and I don't think it messed with my plot data too bad. No, we're good for plot data. But like, literally 150k of decals right here. I think it looks burnt. I don't know. I like it. Kind of. There's some spots that are iffy, like these thingies I kind of don't like, but at the same time, I do. I can't tell if it looks like it was on fire. Next, we need to do our interior. So, I'll see you then.
Kind of grinding away at our interior. I like the idea of a 3-story kind of design. I just don't know how well that's going to work for an airport terminal. It's also very skinny. The thing I hate about having multiple stories and like being able to see them all in this kind of fashion is you can see, like visibly see how thin the floors are. And to me, that just looks really yucky. I don't know why, I just hate being able to see how thin and gross the floor is. Because it just looks so unrealistic to me. This overhang is also really weird, so I think I might just keep it blank and kind of have like structural stuff. I'm using Calgary Airport as my kind of inspo. I really like that lighting. It's got like a modern but like warm vibe. I think that's perfect for an airport. I like that. It's still a bit weird though. And still, I really don't know if I have enough room for seating here.
We need more ceiling lights, man. I really like this one. Not that one. This one. But it doesn't provide any light whatsoever. Like, this is the brightest I can make it. Look at what it's doing. That's it. And if I was to place like 1,000 of these, like, my bills, bro. Think about that for a second. That'd be nuts. I can't do that. I kind of like that. It's a little weird, though. And I must say, this roof is not doing it for me. So for what might be the third time, I may or may not have gone into flow state and just locked the fuck in. But I realized what was happening. So I'm gonna walk y'all through it kind of, and we'll add a little bit more, and then I think we can call this finished. You might be wondering, why is there military stuff? I kind of thought, well, let me start from the beginning. When a zombie apocalypse happens, I don't imagine it happening everywhere immediately, you know? I imagine like there being a source and it spreads. Now, knowing that, right? Knowing about the spread, people are going to find out about it before it comes to certain locations. There might be too much blood in here now I look at this. They're going to find out about it before it comes to certain locations. And knowing that, I feel like people would find out, right? And then immediately lock shit down. If you are planning to travel to another country, you are not bringing no infection disease shit with you, because you're just going to make the disease worldwide at that point, right? You're going to turn into a zombie in the plane, kill everyone in the plane, maybe crash in like the United Kingdom or some shit, you know? So, yeah. The military is trying to stop the spreading. So, to make it look like they did attempt to, I got some kind of like systems here to kind of show the effort that was put in. But at the same time, there isn't a whole lot because A, small terminal, not a lot of room, and B, I thought that having less makes it look rushed, which is kind of a good thing because I imagine them finding out about it, but still not having enough time to make a fully like stable operation, you know? They only had enough time to like kind of rush a little checkpoint here to kind of stop the spread to an extent, and clearly didn't work because this plane wasn't even able to get out. So that's how you know it didn't work. And as for the other planes that did get out, maybe they didn't do such a good job for those either. Maybe we'll have some zombies in like, I don't know, Hong Kong or something. People would come in from here and here. They would be funneled in through these kind of like gate funnels with barbed wire for security. You'd have the military kind of perched up on these, ready to fire down if needed. And yeah, they'd funnel through. You would get medically tested by like a screening machine or some shit. And if you passed, you'd go through the jet tunnel, which isn't furnished yet, but you'd go through the jet tunnel into the plane. But what I imagine happening in this scenario is zombies breached like the main entrance and then eventually made their way running through the hallways. They ran through and made their way to gate 6. That's what gate this is. This is gate 6. They made their way to gate 6, right? And I remember going on and on about there being tweaker zombies in the hospital video. So tweaker zombies have a lot of energy. They run a lot. They're fast. So they bump into shit. So I tried to make the gates look very like rough. Like someone ran into this. Someone ran into this wall. This entire thing is flipped over. The golf cart driver, yeah, that happened. If you're wondering why the hell the golf cart's inside, they do have these inside for transporting people and sometimes luggage, so that's why I have it here. And another thing you might be wondering, is a golf cart really heavy enough to crush someone's head? Yes, it is. I researched. As crazy as that sounds, I did research to see if what I was doing is actually accurate. It takes, according to Google, it takes like 500 pounds to crush a skull. Golf carts are 500 to 1,200 pounds, so your head is not surviving a golf cart. So they got clapped. They're flat on the ground here with no head. You got this dude, the driver. He's not doing too hot either. You can see we got our perches and stuff. I shouldn't be touring this yet. We have the same floodlights as well, because I can't be touring this yet because this isn't done, but it's a rough idea, right? You get screened, you go to the plane, zombies went nutty, zombies killed the people that were in the queue, and they also funneled into the gate to kill the people that were on the plane. That's what I'm going for here. So let's kind of do our gate. I don't know what the inside of a jet bridge looks like. Okay, carpet floor, railing, and that's it. There you go. Kind of your basic jet bridge. I'm going to get a kind of vertical plank type texture. We'll do what we have out here. Metal, and then we'll do like vertical strips. And then we'll have a ton of blood in here. I don't want to have too many zombies in here because if people did get bit and jumped in here, I imagine them jumping out and being the zombies that are on the pavement. I'm very happy with our interior. The fencing feels a little bit weird, but I also don't know what else they'd have in here to like regulate it. Concrete walls don't make sense to me. I love this like structural design. These like triangles and then these like parts coming out towards the window. I think we can call this finished. So let's do our tour. Starting off, we have our... Where do I start? Would it be better to start inside or outside? Let's start outside. We have our big old taxiway, right? You got your big old yellow lines. These tell you where the plane needs to go depending on its size, what lanes to follow. You got tons of cracks and some weeds growing through the concrete. I feel like these really help make the concrete more interesting. I don't know why the hell I'm talking about how interesting concrete is, but you got like this boring ass concrete floor, and then you got like some grass coming out. I feel like that adds something. You got a dead zombie here. She tried making a run for it, didn't go well. Coming to this side, you got more grass, some loose papers and stuff. You got this dude over here. He got kind of far. Again, didn't end well for him. You got more cracks, more kind of grass. You got this dude getting eaten alive on a concrete pad. If you saw my community post, these were the kind of two spotlights in one of the images. There was two images. You got this one right here. Pretty sure that was the image about there. Got another zombie here. This is supposed to be a flight attendant. She jumped out the plane. You can tell, didn't really end well for her. This one got ran over by the plane as it was taxiing. Talk about unlucky, huh? Over here, you have another flight attendant eating the kind of taxiway staff, I guess you could call her. These people in high-vis vests, they're out here operating these golf cart doohickeys and these big old pushback tugs. This one was in the middle of pushing the plane out before, chaos kind of ensued. The zombies kind of got into the tug, and you can kind of guess what happens next. Person inside the tug is kind of at a state that they can't operate it, so the plane was stranded. Plane was stranded until a zombie got into the plane, and then the people in the plane didn't have a fun time. You can see there's kind of blood right here. Actually, let's not show our plane yet. You can see we have our jet bridge. Is this realistic? I don't know. I am happy with how it looks, though. Noticing a mistake. Give me a second. Alright, I fixed it. You can see the jet bridge operates with these big old wheels down here that rotate on this doohickey thingamabob. It's got some wires and cords underneath it, some like air tanks and stuff. You can see it attaches right here, and then it goes into our terminal, which we'll look at in a second. You got all this electrical equipment down here, air ducts and power and all that jazz that keeps this thing running. Got another golf cart here. There's a golf cart inside the terminal, but I imagine there being two types. These ones that don't have the blinky light on top are the outdoor ones that are operated for like moving luggage or moving people that are on the taxiway. Maybe they need to get to their private jet or some shit. And then the ones with the blinking lights are for transportation inside the terminal and moving luggage inside the terminal. You can see we have some military drop-off stuff here. Got duffel bag, green tarp, some cones. These are kind of a theme on our taxiway. I really tried to hint at military presence while not adding Humvees and stuff because of how expensive and how much plot data they take up, but also because I kind of like there not being any military vehicles. That kind of indicates they left in a hurry Maybe they retreated. Maybe they went to like fight somewhere else. I'm not sure. Again, cots. You got more kind of supplies here. You got a big old white truck. Don't know if that's a thing they have on airports, but I kind of looked at a reference image. They had a white box truck like that. They had something similar to this golf cart, and then they had these, which is a pushback tug. They attach to the landing gear on the front, and they push the plane back into this taxiway, following these lines so it can move out that way to where our runway would be. I really like how these things turned out. They're very simple, but I think they kind of give an airport vibe and a rough idea as to how, you know, stuff went down. Like this one was mid-push, kind of getting these people the hell out of this airport, because as this push tug was pushing this plane out, there were, you know, zombies kind of going nutty on the taxiway here. Tons of shit was happening in here, and one got into the push tug and stopped the person that was in it from operating it. So that's why this plane is stranded here. You got another one here. This one was just parked, but the guy that was going to get in it didn't have a great day. You can see kind of what happened to him. This was also another sneak peek. I'm pretty sure this is what the image was like right here. Just showed you guys the tire. You guys had really good guesses. Literally, like, half of the comments knew it was an airport just from the wheel. And then from this image, you guys knew that those windows, that very few amount of windows, what was that, like 4.5 windows? That's a plane. How? How, bro? There's 4.5 windows there, and you knew it was a plane. I'm pretty sure that's everything except for the plane. I mean, we do have these big ol' lights. Very basic, but I think they look pretty cool in front of our terminal. Yeah, cracks, all that. We saw that. Let's move on to our plane. This is based off of the... what is it called? The Airbus A220. Twin-engine, narrow-body commercial jet designed for short to medium haul flights. Guys, I knew that from the top of my head. I totally didn't Google that. It's not the greatest. It's definitely not the most realistic plane on Bloxburg. It's my first, so I'm very proud of it. It could look shit. I don't know. If there's any, like, plane geeks in the comments, I know there's a big plane building community. If there's any in the comments, feedback would be lovely. In case I decide to build a plane again, I can use your feedback to improve. There is no interior. You got your fins and your rudders and all that. I went for kind of a blue theme for Bloxburg because in this zombie series, we did have a bit of a Roblox theme. You got big blue jets. Love how these turned out. I'm very happy with how it turned out, even with the obvious beginner mistakes. I mean, look at the choppage back here. Yikes. I spent probably about an entire day, around 6 hours, just trial and erroring this plane. Normally, prepare for a quick yap sesh. I'll tell you about this burning stuff down here and the lore behind that, but I usually spend minimum 4 hours, maximum 16 hours on a build. Like, that's my average, 4 to 16 hours. The hospital took 16 hours, and then the smaller stuff, like the Cyberpunk 711, took like 4. So far, I have 24 hours of footage for this video. This is my longest video yet, or my biggest recorded video yet, and I'd say about 6 to 10 hours of it is just the plane, bro. The plane was so difficult. I have zero experience. I watched like 3 speed build videos just to kind of get a rough idea of how they do it. A lot of perfect circle hacks and stuff. And then I just kind of winged it, you know? And we have kind of a basic Airbus. You got some emergency exits. You got your doors. You got your front kind of windows. Another door here. I put blood on it to kind of give the idea that zombies were running through the jet bridge and kind of smacking into the door. I realized that's not aligned properly, but it is what it is. I would move the plane further back, but I don't have the room. For some reason, it thinks it's out of plot bounds, when really I still have a good 5 grid spaces. Now, this. You guys, this was actually later in the video that I did this. The plane was finished for a while, and then I came back and thought, this could be interesting. So, we have blood on the fire exit here. Is it a fire exit? The emergency exit. You got some blood on the emergency exit to kind of give the idea that zombies got on the wing and were banging on the door, maybe. Here, to connect to the zombies I got on the wing, maybe one of the zombies fell into the jet engine, right? And caused the jet engine to maybe catch fire or kind of explode or combust a little bit. And you kind of have some burnt pieces. You got smoke stains on your concrete. You got like burnt paint or maybe some metal pieces on the ground. You can see all the burn marks underneath here. I kind of used a reference image from a plane fire. The back seems to be the most burnt in kind of engine fires for some reason, so I kind of went for a darker color at the back, lighter at the front and the bottom. You can kind of see the original color down here. I made this thing still smoldering, which kind of doesn't make sense because I did say this would be like 1 to 6 months after the initial outbreak, but maybe it's still smoldering because it's hot metal, or maybe the fire lasted like a month or two. I don't know. It's still smoldering though. It adds some life to the build. You can see the top here is pretty bad. The smoke really stained the shit out of the wing. There's some burn marks. I realize those are kind of overlapping, but when you look at it from underneath, these are one-sided decals, so they don't actually come all the way over. I think it really shows a little more disaster and catastrophe to the build, because it looked a little empty before. It kind of just looked like an abandoned or maybe a deserted airport, but now, there's some emphasis on what really went down here. And I'm pretty sure that's our exterior done. Holy yapping. Yeah, plane, pushback tugs, you got your vehicles and stuff. Very happy with how the outside turned out. This is going to be a very hard build to delete. I delete my builds usually like right after I finish publishing the video for them. It's going to be a little bit hard to delete, I'm not going to lie. This was a very fun one and a big challenge. Let's move on to our interior here. I didn't do any decorating for these upper levels. A, because I have no idea what to put up here. B, because of plot data. And C, because of budgeting. I have zero money right now. I used it all on the zombies and blood that's down here. And honestly, if you're looking at it from down here, you really can't tell what's up there. So I think it is perfectly fine. What I went for is kind of a rushed military operation, right? The military, or maybe the government, I don't even know. A zombie apocalypse doesn't happen instantly and everyone's a zombie, It spreads over time, and people are definitely going to find out about it before it's taking over the entire kind of country. So what I thought was maybe they found out about it, and now they're actually starting to take action. There was some action taken on the original Apocalypse build, which was the mall. There was some military Humvees on the mall build. But in this one, you have some barricades, because what they were trying to do was they were trying to actually evacuate people who were healthy and clean to other countries as like refugees. And anyone that was clean was able to get on a plane. Did all planes make it? No. As you can tell, this one didn't even make it off the taxiway. Some are in the air, some are burning in the middle of nowhere because they didn't do a great job doing their medical screening. I kind of went for like a theme park queue kind of design, but with barbed wire. I imagine they made people line up and they funneled people through these metal fences for their medical screening, and if they were good, they would be led into the taxiway. Or not the taxiway, the jet bridge. And then eventually, after all their screening and after all the kind of stuff was happening, after the plane was starting to really get filled up, something bad happened. Now, I have two ideas. Either one, someone in the crowd started biting the shit out of other people that was kind of lined up around them, trying to get screened. Or a horde of zombies broke through the main entrance of the airport and ran and made their way all the way over here to Terminal 6. This is one terminal. I imagine there being 12 of these, and this is number 6. This is one, bro. That kind of gives you a rough idea of how massive this airport would really be. But yeah, I imagine the zombies kind of broke in, or maybe they started getting out of control. The military can contain them. Zombies were bashing into the stuff. Like you can see, we have knocked over metal gates and stuff. You've got blood stains on like outer croppings for like pillars and seats and stuff to kind of indicate they were running into shit. They didn't really have much care, because that's what a zombie is, right? I'm going for tweaker zombies, and tweaker zombies, they don't give a shit about how they feel, right? They're gonna run into shit if they're gonna get a bite of somebody. Got a bunch of advertisements and stuff, trash cans, another poor soul right here. Got fire alarms and stuff, emergency floodlights. You can see we have a cot here, more military supplies and advertisements. You got a military dude here. He wasn't able to get on the Humvee with his buddies. He kind of got left behind. You have another airport staff person here getting eaten. You have just a dude here getting eaten by another dude. Pause. Tons of blood. I tried to make it so the blood got more and more frequent the closer you got to the jet bridge. Because if people saw other people getting bit or they saw zombies running in, they're not going to give an actual shit about the military and all the medical screening. They're going to barge their way through, bumping into other people just to get to this jet bridge. So that's kind of what I wanted to emphasize. People pushing the shit out of each other just to run for their life, you know? It's gory, it's wrong, and it's kind of awful to think about, but I really try to go for realism. And if you think about mob mentality, if people think they're in danger, they're not going to care about the danger of not obeying the military that's trying to control them, right? So the crowd or the line of people that would have been lined up at these gates would rush through here, bro. You know, a lot of them wouldn't make it, and they would all kind of crowd here, rushing to get through this jet bridge, and judging by the red wine on the floor, you can really tell that didn't go well. So yeah, that's kind of this side. This side is less furnished because I imagine this side not really being the flow of traffic. I imagine the entrance would be that way and they'd go this way, they'd funnel that way. I imagine the entrance to the airport would be in this direction and they would make their way down this way to the other terminals, or the other gates, I guess I should say. On this side, you can see we have some TVs. These would show your schedules, but they're off because who the hell needs schedules in these hard times? More ads. You got some more snackage. Got another person here. I really try to emphasize the bumping and the pushing by having knocked over bumped gates and this person flat on their face. Kind of got some more military supply behind this gate. You can see another flight attendant, or maybe who's the person that's behind this desk? What are they called? A check-in agent or a ticket agent? So I imagine this being either the check-in agent or the ticket agent, or even just a flight attendant that would have been either from inside of the jet bridge or behind this desk. Soldier zombie right here, except he's got his full jacket on, not just his t-shirt. Got more zombie eating right there. You got kind of rope fences that were knocked over, and you can see them funneling in here to this jet bridge. You got another casualty right here, blood being dragged. And you got another person in here being eaten in the jet bridge. I'm not gonna lie, this zombie really hides this support block well. But yeah, there you go. Your jet bridge. Got blood kind of splattered on the sides. People really tried to make it to this plane, but even if they did, the plane did not even make it out of the airport. We have a golf cart, a rogue golf cart, or a rogue kind of airport staff person. I imagine they lost control of their golf cart, ran over this poor person here. But yeah, I imagine this person got bit, lost control. They're behind the wheel. They started going full speed, and they smashed into this, kind of knocking it down, opening the way. And yeah, you got more military stuff here. Another perch with sandbags, more blood, kind of showing the flow. I really hope it's not overcrowded. It's very busy, as you can see. I'm very happy with how it turned out. And yeah, tell me what you guys think. If you're enjoying the Apocalyptic series, let me know. This is a very time-consuming series to make. I love making the apocalyptic builds, but I must say they are very plot data consuming. I don't even know if that's a word. They're very expensive for Bloxburg money, and they take a long time. If you were to add up all the time I spent building for this build, I'd say 24 hours. That's the total footage I have that I'm gonna have to edit. Wish me luck. I love scale, you know? Like, I love having these little people and these little zombies in this big-ass terminal. And you got, like, this big support beams and these multiple levels, bro. You have these big fences and stuff. Like, it really makes it feel real. And you have so much blood emphasizing the chaos and the jet bridge that comes out into this massive plane. Then you got these big old tugs, like, I love it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please let me know. I'm going to have an absolute blast making the short/mini movie for this. The short/mini movies that I make, they're so fun. I can't wait to make the cyberpunk ones, but I also love making the apocalyptic ones. Those are an absolute blast. I totally geeked out on the apocalyptic hospital short, if you guys haven't seen it yet. And I'm hoping to do something similar for this one as well. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys. Let's get a little more B-roll. I love this. I'm so happy with this. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye now.